The DA's Tania Campbell has promised to hit the ground running following her re-election as Ekurhuleni Metro Executive Mayor. She was ousted 2 weeks ago in a motion of no confidence over accusations that her administration ignored black townships on service delivery. Well, joining us now to share their thoughts on what Campbell's return means for the ratepayers of the Ekurhuleni Council is the Speaker of Council, Raymond Dhlamini. We also reached out to the ANC Ekurhuleni Chief Whip, Jongizizwe Dlabathi. Hopefully he'll be joining us in the conversation as we continue. You are part of it as well. What do you think happened in Council today? Do you think that which happened today was to serve the interests of political parties or was to serve the interests of ratepayers in the city of Ekurhuleni? 072-110-5584. Let's hear your views and your thoughts tonight. Speaker, good evening. Good to have you, and thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, Tavo, and good evening to your viewers at home.
You were hoping and praying, and I think your hoping and praying worked out today.
That's what I said last week. I said we must have hope, and we pray, but the hope it was that we must have a mayor.
Yes.
Irrespective of which side come from, we need to have a mayor because you need to have an executive so that the business should continue. We don't want to find ourselves stuck at the past two weeks and a half. What is happening in the issue of service delivery, because you can only hold the executive accountable. So now there was no one to hold accountable, but all of us learned on this one, and hope all of us as the political parties, before we bring the motions, we need to understand that it should not be to serve our own interest, but to serve the interest of the community. I think if we do that, it will be fair for everyone.
It's a worrying concern that, yes, the political party contestations, the battles for power and control are continuing, and they will continue. And as you put it, in the meantime, the municipality's service delivery is the one that suffers. Do you have a plan in place on how you're going to deal with that? I mean, the events of the last 2 weeks likely to repeat itself. I mean, if you hear what the ANC is saying, well, we accept the outcome for now, meaning that there is a plan maybe for later.
First and almost is that, yes, the plan is there. But what we have to ask ourselves is, do we have a will to allow the plan to work? Because we can have a plan, but if you find political parties, they feel strong, we don't need this one, we need that one, with no reasons, then that's the problem. But if all of us agree to say that we need to give the service to the people, then that plan can work. And let's work with that plan. We don't care who's sitting on the helm. Because if we want to debate to say which party should sit on the helm, that's where we'll be making a mistake. But we all have to agree to say, whoever sits there, it's okay. The only thing us as opposition parties, we just have to do the oversight and look proper. And you cannot just do the oversight then you keep quiet. You come in and assist to say, we feel strong. This is the route that we should take. The route that we are taking, we feel strong, it's not going to take us anywhere. But if you look this new administration, we just came in office 9 months. So you ask yourself in the space of 9 months, what is that you can do, quite be honest, so that you can please the whole council, which it's impossible, quite be honest.
So there are some who have been suggesting, for example, that, of course, because we are in this new territory of coalition governments, which is a massive challenge to navigate, and a new one, particularly for South Africa, that maybe National Assembly should come up with some new rules, a framework of which would govern how these coalitions would work. For example, some of the things that have been suggested was a particular time frame that is set before council can begin, for example, to entertain a motion of no confidence.
I agree with you. In fact, we have to take it further. Also, if the motion is brought forward, then we have to allow the public also to participate on it, because if we are doing the policy or we are doing the bylaw, you are taking that to the public. They must do a public participation. They participate as a public. So if we want to strengthen the democracy, we should not limit to the public. We have to open it to say the public also must get involved. What is your take? as a society, because there is a motion fund. So they will debate amongst themselves. Then that itself now will start having good leaders out there, whoever sit in the helm, because being scrutinized by the public, and the public, they are happy. If they are not happy, the public will speak to say, look, we are not happy where you are taking the seat. So we are in full support of that, quite to be honest.
Yeah. As the speaker, though, I suppose one of the worrying concerns for you would be how do you closely monitor things like financial viability of the city, which is one of the issues that the minority parties also raise quite sharply around the concerns of the finances of the city. In fact, in one of the conversations that I had with the chairperson of Action SA in Gauteng and chairperson of the Democratic Alliance in Gauteng, there were concerns, for example, around the experience of the current administration in as far as governing a municipality, how you budget and you allocate finances. Sometimes you are in haste to do projects, but there is no budget to support what you do.
Yeah, first and almost, it's unfortunate that when we came in, there was this evil called COVID. It was a problem for us. While we went out from COVID, hard lockdown, when we were starting to stabilize everything, the load shedding came in. And that load shedding came in, no one experienced that before. We went to the stage 6, all those kind of things. It does play a role when it comes to finances. And remember, the treasury, if we lose 2 billion in the city or 1 billion because of the load shedding, they're not going to say, there is a money, we're going to replace that money, then we are fine. So we are affected on those bases. So if they are giving us a criticism, fair enough, but they have to look to say what kind of environment that this new administration they are operating in. If it is normal, then we can say, yes, indeed, you don't have experience, all those kind of things. But we are faced with load shedding, and if you do the budget, you are not budgeting on the basis of, say, next week we're going to have a load shedding or tomorrow. We don't know. You just see on the news, breaking news, you are on load shedding, stage 4, stage 5, stage 6. So we'll keep on changing there and there, and it won't look good to the residents and those want the chair, which is opposition parties. They'll keep on hammering on us on that one. So that's the problem.
So we're going to have the whip of the ANC in council, but also interesting enough, he's also the chairperson of SALGA in the province, and they held a bit of a summit just the other day, where one of the things that were highlighted there was this continuing decline or trust deficit, so to speak, in local government. And they are talking of ways in which confidence can be restored back in local governments. I mean, the 257 or so municipalities that we have in the country, most of them, if not a large number of them, are getting qualified audits. In fact, most of them are in financial dire straits. So there's very little trust that communities have right now in local government. How do we restore that confidence?
First, we need to change the government. We have to start there. And remember, as a society, we need to agree that the previous administration failed us, not only in the city of Ekurhuleni, the entire country. Then that's why now we started having debates. If we all agree to say, these political parties failed us, then let's try the new political parties. There is nothing wrong with the system that we are having. The only problem that we are having is a cadre deployment. What we are having is that people that they don't respect the rule of law, people knowing that they'll get away with corruption. Those are the problems that we are faced with. We can change, bring all different systems, but if we continuously having the very same people who corrupt the system, we're not going to go anywhere. First, we have to agree to say, let's remove these ones. Then the new people will come in with the new ideas. Then we'll be able to, because we can argue and debate. I will say, but Alderman, like an example, Dlabathi, it's a provincial chair of SALGA. I'll say to him, but everything, this thing, what we are talking about, happened in your watch. It's been 15 years, 20 years you've been in the helm. So what's happening here? So why we should take you serious? In fact, the society must not take them serious. They just have to say, can you step aside? Let us allow new mind, new brain, come in and see what they're going to do. If it was a new administration saying what Alderman or Salga say, then maybe we can entertain that. But it's an old regime, so it is difficult to agree to say, yes, we agree on that one. So it's a problem, and I'm not buying into that, and I hope majority of the society will agree with me on that one.
Yeah. As far as capabilities or capacity constraints currently faced by the Ekurhuleni municipality itself, how do you as the Speaker and as Council look at that particular aspect of things? There are some who are saying, for example, there are leadership capabilities that are currently not there.
Okay. We are a minority government. No one got majority in that council. Out of 224 seats that we are having, ANC, they got 89. They can correct me if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But the DA got 65. The EFF got 31. Action SA is 15. Others are 3-4 there. In terms of political parties, we're having 14 political parties. So it's quite difficult to maneuver, to work together. Why? Because as politicians, we are not honest. But if we were honest, it was going to be easy for us to work and make sure that we put a recommendation that will favor the community out there. So that's where the problem is. We have too many political parties out of 224, and that itself is a problem, because this one might come and say this one, the other one go the other side. So it's about numbers. No matter how much you can have, you can speak nice, you can have good policy and everything. But if you don't have numbers on your side, it will be very, very difficult for us.
All right, let's look at some of the WhatsApp that have come in. 072-110-558. Of course, we asked you your views tonight on what took place in that council in the city of Johannesburg. As the Speaker, why service providers are still owed monies from April to date? Some of the people asking there. I mean, as council, have you gotten hold of such complaints? Have you looked at the books and got to understand what is actually happening? Why are some of the service providers not being paid? I mean, it's not the first time, for example, that we're hearing this. Refuge collectors, for example, those contracts, some of them are saying the previous contracts have not been paid, which is part of the challenges that Ekurhuleni is facing currently in terms of refuge collection.
Yeah. Well, I agree with the message that I saw there. It's quite, they're asking an honest question, but quite be honest in terms of the honest answers that I don't know which department they are referring to, but in terms of the question, yes, there are service providers that they are not yet paid, but first you need to know which one, which department, so you'll be able to engage with that department to say, look, we cannot have this mess. Can you fix this thing? Then that thing can be quickly fixed. Yeah. If so, if we have those on, anyone complain about it, then it's in they have my email, I guess. So they can email easy to me to say, we give the service to the city from this month to this month. We are not paid. We want to know why. So then we'll do the investigation. Then we're going to give them a proper response accordingly.
Yeah. As far as you are concerned, as the Speaker and as Council, is the city still able to meet its monthly obligations?
Yes, of course. Yes, workers get their salaries. Yes, I won't lie to you and say we are not in trouble. We are, because I stated two things. I said the COVID hit us, and while we are busy starting to stabilize proper, then the load shedding came in, and it was not a normal load shedding. Quite be honest. Let's be honest here. It's a load shedding that we all ask ourselves, what's going on here? It was 6 hours load shedding, went to 5 hours load shedding. That itself does have a huge impact to the city itself. As you know, our city is based on industrial area, so we rely so heavily on those companies. So if they are not working and to tell you, look, on a month we only work for 10 or 12 days, so how do you want us to pay? Obviously, in terms of paying, it's going to be reduced. So that itself had a huge impact on us. But I want political parties, all of us agree that load shedding had an impact on us. If we agree, then let's have a debate. Say, oh, you agree, said yes. Then I said, what is the way forward so that how can we move forward? as all together as the political parties, because none of them will come and tell you that the load shedding we lost almost like 1.8, 1.5 billion rand. They won't say that. They will just say this administration failed us. But they have to look at the bigger picture. Who exactly failed us here?
The other issue that was raised, Speaker, and from where you're sitting, is the neglect of the community of Tembisa, which is what the minority parties raised with me sharply here when they came in to say this is why they were supporting the motion of no confidence.
Neglect in which way? Because we need to first to know in which way, because you hear the ANC say that all township was in neglect. Then you ask yourself, I myself am from Netwat Township. I can tell you each and every Monday waste is being collected there. What is not being clean is the illegal dumping, which is having its own problem, the illegal dumping itself. We can debate it. I can easily say that those areas were created so that we can empower some other comrades to work there. So we came in, we closed that tap, and nothing is happening. Illegal dumping, yes, we can debate around that, but for them to go further and say waste is not collected, and you ask for how many months or how many days, yes, you might jump 1 or 2 days there and there, but not because the waste is not collected. And we are not running away. We agree on the waste we're having a crisis, which we have to look into it. And Pratabo, it's not easy. It's not like just coming in tomorrow, go and buy a truck. There are processes that you have to follow. For you to get a truck, it can take you 3 to 4 months. We've been in government for 9 months. So we are aware of those issues, but it will take time for us to fix them because we have the system that we have to follow. We cannot just jump the system and just go straight to any company and say, we want this truck, we want that truck. It doesn't work like that. We have to open the process of tendering, and we appoint. So it's all take months and months and months. So that's where the problem is. But in terms of that, we can argue, we can debate, and I'm willing to be corrected. But the issue of service delivery in township, if it's specific about waste, it is not true. And I can tell you, if it also in the electricity, 90%.
I was going to come there, but one of the issues that the Tembisa folks, of course, had to raise was this issue of electricity. They even went to a point of burning office buildings.
Yes.
And the mayor then eventually went there when they had been asking for her to actually go and show up there. And some of the promises that she has made to them, they're still waiting to date.
Yes, because it's not something that I make a promise today, then tomorrow you'll see things happening. That departments have to engage, have to do proper things. It's not about lying here. If I want to lie, I can go to them and lie, then I walk. Then they'll say everything is fine. It is important for us, if you request a mayor or any member of the executive to say, come, we want to see you. It is important that executive, that an MMC or a mayor must be well prepared, knowing very well that when he respond accordingly. Because we are sick and tired where politicians will come to community and lie to them and go for 6 months and come back another for 6 months. We don't want that. I understand the frustration of the members of the community because they want answers now. It's not easy to give an answer now. You can only give an answer if you're in the system for more than 5 years or you are coming for a second time, if I can put it that way. You know what is happening on the system. But if you don't know first, you have to go and ask why this thing is happening, why it was not resolved, what was the problem. So it takes time. So that's what happened. So I think maybe it's because of the community. They don't trust a politician anymore. They don't have faith and trust on them. So that's why they felt strong that the executive mayor, she doesn't want to listen to us. But I can assure you and tell you, she's a dedicated woman. She's been in service for more than 20 years. She knows what she's talking about when we talk about service to the people. So she just need to be given a space and an opportunity also to work and bring those officials who are willing, because there are good men and women who are willing to work for the city. We just have to identify who are those and try to bring them together and start giving the service to the people. The people of Tembisa, not only just the people of Tembisa, let's just say the people of Ekurhuleni will attend to their issues. We are aware of their issues. They just have to be patient with us, then try to fix everything. Then will deal with those issues.
Let's take another WhatsApp, 072-110-5584. Please ask the Speaker why we are getting charged for increased service delivery and we are having major problems collecting our refuse from the time the DA came into power. Thanks, Anonymous again. So this is the other issue that was raised, the lifting of the rates, water and electricity rates, saying this is not necessarily a pro-poor move that was taken since the Democratic Alliance administration came in. There's another one saying we're being charged more for services which we are not seeing.
Okay. We have this so-called, I'll remember that, I'll come back to that, but let me start with the issue of the waste removal. The sabotage is there. You know, this morning you wake up, you go there, the trucks, they're not working, and then you ask what's going on, all those kind of things. And as I said too, we are trying to understand the officials. How can we work together? What is the problem? All those kind of things, it takes time. And we are just appealing to say, just be patient. We'll be able to move together as soon as we are in understanding the officials, how they work. Because these trucks, some of them, they are old trucks. So you ask yourself, why this truck is still on the road? If we remove this truck, what will we bring in? So all those kind of things does affect us. In the issue of why we put the increase up. If you're poor, we have a policy, the indigent policy. You can apply for indigent policy. That one is open for everyone. As long as you feel strong that you are not fit, you can't be able to pay the services that you cannot pay what you're supposed to pay, what is due for the city. You can apply for indigents. So it's straightforward. Just go and apply. After applying for indigents, you'll get the response. If you qualify, you'll get that. If you don't qualify, it means that at least you are putting something on the table. We understand that, and it's a business. To run the city, you need to understand it's a business. We have more than 18,000 workers of the city. Also, they need to get paid. Soon you're going to hear unions will come out and say we want the increase. So where are you going to get the money? Because the money is not coming from anywhere, it's coming from the repairs. So it's a lot of things that is happening. And yeah, that's what I can say. I can tell you, can't please everyone.
Speaker, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. That is the Speaker of the City of Ekurhuleni Council there, Raymond Dhlamini.